I've been waiting for this moment for a long time.
Judging by the sound of it, so has everyone else.
Hey, hold on, it's almost halftime.
Hello and welcome into halftime on a Monday, and it is February 1st. It is college baseball month. That's right. I know there's so much else happening. I know that there's probably a new defensive line coach for the Razorbacks. I know that there were 2 basketball games over the weekend. I was at one of them, the women's basketball win yesterday against Auburn. I know there's a Super Bowl in less than a week. And lots happening, including, Valentine's Day in 2 weeks and everything else that goes along with all of that fun. But it is the month where college baseball starts too. And hopefully when spring training starts, unless the ownership and Major League Baseball gets their way. So I don't know. You know what, SmackDown? I probably and I should have felt this happy Friday when we got on the air at 11 o'clock after the emotional win over UConn and some really interesting and fantastic news that I cannot share just yet. But I think I was too tired. You know, I still had an emotional overload from the big upset over the UConn Huskies. And although I was not quite like Mike Neighbors, who said he did not sleep for over 24 hours, I was pretty close to it. So I don't know if I was real. I don't remember anything we said or spoke about or talked about on Friday. I just felt like I sort of glided through the show because I just
you did
was
good.
Still on air. So, but I don't think I was able to really express my true joy and happiness from that upset win. So here it is now, February 1st. I guess I've slept a little bit. I did get to watch some baseball scrimmage over the weekend, just a little bit. I had other things I had to talk about with people there at the ballpark. But this probably sounds like me at my happiest for a while here, SmackDown. You want to be my happiness? Since you're Sunshine, you are Mr. Sunshine these days. You want to be my happiness barometer?
Absolutely.
How do I sound?
You sound more energetic. You sound more enthused today. And like you said, you had a weekend to kind of digress and kind of get your ducks in a row and kind of recap what that UConn victory probably meant to University of Arkansas. And it was a fun weekend, absolutely. But no, right now, 11:03. We've been on the air for about 2.5 minutes. Matty T, I think he sounds pretty good this morning so far.
He does. He sounds like he's got a new lease on life.
Speaking of new lease on life, though, one thing you didn't mention that's probably even bigger than baseball season this week. It's
Bite your tongue. Bite your tongue.
It's National Matty T Week.
It is?
It's National Matty T Week.
That is are you sure it's national, or is this just like a statewide thing?
It's more like a local holiday.
Local holiday.
It is.
It's just a show holiday this week.
It is interstate. It should be a bi-state holiday since our stations do.
That's a good choice.
Get into Oklahoma. Why don't we call this a bi-state
or tri-state? We're into
Missouri.
Missouri
yeah.
too. That's I always loved calling things tri-state areas because there's 50 of them across this country. So yeah, we'll make it a tri-state holiday. All week long. We love you, Matty T. Happy early birthday.
All the comeuppance are coming your way.
It's 6 days away. That's right. So we get to give you some birthday insults as the week goes along, too.
But see, here's the deal. Matty T can dish them back just as good as anybody, right?
He can, but always in an understated way and when you're not ready for it.
Am I allowed to this week, though?
Of course.
Okay. Of course you can. You got to.
You always can, but now you got more of a reason to because it's your week. We can literally the show is in your hands this week.
Nice. That is a frightening thought. if you know the persona behind the man who is Matty T, that is a bit of a frightening thought. All right, so we'll be a little more serious here. There is a lot to get to today outside of the fact that college baseball starts in 18 days. We got basketball over the weekend. Arkansas drops what felt like a heartbreaker to Oklahoma State, but the SEC does win the SEC Big 12 Challenge. I think that's the first time in a couple of years that's happened. So I would have taken the Arkansas victory over the SEC beating the Big 12, no doubt. Arkansas women's basketball gets the win yesterday over Auburn. That is 2 in a row. Did take them about a quarter or so to get their legs underneath them.
About 12 minutes.
And then reality set in, and Amber Ramirez started hitting shots, and they end up going. The final score, I don't think, tells you how close it was. 77-67 felt like a much tighter game than that. That to get to. This is Mississippi State week for basketball because tomorrow night, Muss's team looks to rebound taking on Mississippi State. You got Hale State versus Arkansas women's basketball at the Hump on Thursday. So we got Hogs and Bulldogs a couple of times this week to get to. 3 up, 3 down. I'm going to lambaste the Major League Baseball owners for not wanting to play a baseball season when it should start. The weekend had some trades, man.
Big ones.
I don't know if I've ever seen quite a trade like between the Lions and the Rams over the weekend. Like in my estimation, the biggest trade that I can remember in my lifetime in the NFL is when Herschel Walker went from the Cowboys for like how many draft picks? How many draft picks did they get to build that Super Bowl championship? Like 8 of them from the Vikings.
Mm-hmm.
And this isn't quite at that level, but I mean, goodness, the Rams are going to go 7 years without a first-round pick. But you have to obviously appreciate where they're coming from here. There's a window for a team that does have frontline talent on a lot of spots, and you know that even though Goff took them to the Super Bowl a couple of years ago, this last season, especially the final month and a half, he was awful. So I think you can appreciate the Rams. You could call it shooting their shot with a guy in Stafford who's played in 3 playoff games over what should be an incredible decade. And then the Lions really rebuilding here at the same time while bringing on Goff in that big contract, but getting 2 first-round picks. And then there's the trade for the St. Louis Cardinals, getting third baseman Nolan Arenado. That's, totally firing up Jason Carroll.
Of course, because the Cardinals hadn't done anything. The NL Central hadn't done anything all offseason, and Cardinals finally got the guy they were trying to get last year.
Well, and the Cardinals haven't announced the trade yet. I think Arenado still has to officially waive his no trade clause.
But it's going to happen.
Of course, it's going to happen. He was pretty open about not wanting to stay with Colorado. I think he and the general manager Burdich have. I think that relationship really fizzled over a year ago. So I felt the Cardinals fleeced Colorado in that trade. Getting $50 million to pay for his first 2 years and not giving up any of their, either the best prospect they trade is their number 9 prospect.
I don't know if they fleeced them or if Colorado was just so ready to just get whatever they could get, and that's what they had to give up.
That's right.
It's kind of like the Rams wanting to give up Goff so bad that they give up their picks to get a guy in Matt Stafford who might help them win a couple more games, might not. I don't know. But both of those trades, in my opinion, were bad for the team that made the trade.
Well, and as far as the Cardinals are concerned, I don't know any team in the majors that has cornerstones on the infield quite like that, but there's still a lot of question marks amongst that lineup.
Well, there's the lineup questions and then the starting rotation questions.
Yes. But first base and third base are not a question for St. Louis,
they're
at
not.
least that.
And shortstop with Paul DeJong's not bad either. So they've got a pretty decent infield, and you figure they're going to re-sign Molina for a 1-year deal and have him at the backstop. It's just the starting pitching. It's kind of like what we talked about with Arkansas baseball. I think there's enough there. It's just who it's going to be and how they're actually going to perform once they get on the mound.
So, and it looks like there's going to be a new defensive line coach at Arkansas SmackDown. Footballscoop.com reporting about 30, 45 minutes ago that Tulsa defensive line coach Jermile Ashley, who's been there 6 years as the Golden Hurricane defensive line coach, will be replacing Derek LeBlanc as the Hogs DL coach. And that's because LeBlanc, I think it's not that LeBlanc didn't do a good job or isn't somebody that probably could have really helped build this program. He's looking to move back to the NFL. So,
and we were hearing Brick Haley, former Missouri defensive line coach, might have been an option, but Barry Odom and Sam Pittman decided to go this direction. So we'll see. Again, everything's been so quiet over there. We don't really know what the heck's going on because we haven't talked to anybody over there in a while. We have not talked to anybody in regards to football since the Monday before the bowl game was supposed to be.
Well, isn't former real National Signing Day? Isn't that coming up soon?
It's coming up in 2 days.
That's what I thought.
And right now, they've only got 3 spots left, and I don't think they're going to fill any of them now.
But still, that would be a natural moment for a media gathering, which now these days are known as Zoom phone calls.
Yeah, and I don't expect anything anytime soon either.
All right, 877-377-6963 for your calls and text to react to that. I see SmackDown's got a big smile on his face.
It's a good day. It's a good day to be great today, my friends.
You are always the happiest person.
A good
on
day
the
to be
face of
great.
the earth these days.
Well, Matty T celebrated my week for me, so now it's mom returning the favor for national or the Tri-State Matty T holiday week. Spectacular.
And official baseball starts this month too, so stay with us.
The energy.
Razorback fans wanting to make some noise. They're trying to take control of this ball game, and they are up calling the Hogs.
The effort.
Going to the basket, and he throws it down. And hello, dump.
The enthusiasm.
Forces a three, and it goes anyway. Wow, the win, he got it. He got it. He got it.
Catch all the action all season long on your home for the Razorbacks.
Only on ESPN 95.3 and hitthatline.com.
Your locally owned TGI Fridays in Fort Smith is now open for dine-in, curbside to go, and delivery for both lunch and dinner, 7 days a week. TGI Fridays is taking your safety seriously, following every guideline. Enjoy Fridays favorites like appetizers, burgers, sandwiches, salads, all the great Fridays, signature entrees, kids meals, and great desserts. TGI Fridays, now open for dine-in, curbside to go, and delivery. Call 479-484-0906. That's 484-0906. Or order online at Fridays.com. Your locally owned TGI Fridays at I-540 in Rogers and Fort Smith.
Are you concerned about possible COVID exposure for you or your employees? Fort Smith has a new option for PCR COVID testing that is fast and accurate. Natural State Laboratories out of Little Rock has opened a PCR COVID drive-thru location in Fort Smith at Community Bible Church. PCR testing is the most sensitive, accurate test available, and results are available the next day. No appointment is necessary. Convenient COVID PCR drive-thru testing in Fort Smith is open 8 a.m. to 1 p.m. Monday through Friday at Community Bible Church, located at 9201 Dallas Street.
Art's Barbecue and Burgers has the best burger in town. And every Saturday, enjoy any burger at Art's and get $1 off. Try Art's Bacon Cheeseburger, topped with house-smoked bacon, or the Art Attack with bacon, ham, and a fried egg. And all of Art's burgers come with a mound of fresh-cut fries, or upgrade to Art's homemade onion rings. $1 off all burgers every Saturday at Art's Barbecue and Burgers, 8203 Rogers Avenue, next to Aaron's in Fort Smith.
Largemouth bass will be spawning soon at ponds and lakes all over Arkansas and Oklahoma. One of the best lures to catch them on at this time is the famous Yum Dinger. We make them by the truckloads in Fort Smith in 3, 4, 5, and 6 inch sizes, and they are in tackle boxes of bass anglers all over the U.S. and all over the world. Wacky rigging the 5-inch model can't be beat for spawning bass. Available at Walmart, Bass Pro Shops, Academy, LureNet.com, and tackle stores all over the place. The Yum Dinger.
Head to toe, it's gotta be Jelco for hard work and the great outdoors.
With quality and price and comfort you like, and savings that you're looking for.
We've got the shoes and boots, steel toes too, outerwear and a whole lot more.
Head to toe, it's gotta be Jelco
for hard work and the great outdoors.
This is Brett Good, former Razorback and Super Bowl champion with the Green Bay Packers. Everyone loves to be on a winning team. That is why I have joined Henderson Phillips Employer Solutions. Henderson Phillips can help you tackle all your employee benefit, health insurance, and staffing management solutions. Plus, I can help you with any commercial or personal insurance need. Come join my team at Henderson Phillips. Call me, Brett Good, at 479-651-2292. That's 651-2292.
Hertz Car Sales has been serving the River Valley for over 40 years and takes pride in offering exceptional service. Whether you're looking for a car, truck, crossover, or SUV, Hertz offers a big selection of the most popular brands. They're friendly, offer a no-pressure car shopping experience, and their vehicles are high quality and priced competitively. New inventory is arriving daily and trade-ins are always welcome. So make the short drive to 2810 Midland Boulevard, give them a call at 783-1722, or check out their line of quality pre-owned vehicles at buyfromhertz.com.
This is ESPN 95.3.
Franks is in the gun on first down. He's going to fake it to Smith, throw it deep. Great catch over the shoulder. That's Woods at the 40. Michael stays on his feet, reverses field into Gator territory. To the 30, to the 20. He's got a chance to go. Woods into the end zone. Touchdown, Arkansas.
Want to jump in the conversation with the guys? Call or text into halftime at 877-377-6963.
So, am I to believe that Felipe Franks leads a game-winning drive, plays 2 good quarters for the team that wins the Senior Bowl, but he's not the MVP?
Because Kellen Mond had a better game.
But the team lost. They still lost, right?
Those games.
That's not what it's about. The final score does not matter. I understand.
He was the second best quarterback out of the 5 that played.
He was the best on his team, that's for sure.
He was, but Kellen Mond had a much better day.
Well, hopefully Felipe moves a little bit up in scouts' eyes. I know there's no NFL Combine this year, so the Senior Bowl means more than it usually does. So it's good for Felipe to get that exposure to play as well as he did. I'd seen, he had like 3 passes over 20 yards, a little short on some of the shorter passes, but I don't know. He does intrigue me. Yeah. Felipe intrigues me as a potential NFL quarterback who's going to sit for a while, but I think at some point he'll get a chance, and I'd be really interested to see what he does with that opportunity.
Yeah, he'll get a chance, and honestly, the game itself doesn't really matter. It's what you do Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday that week, and then also the interviews that you have while you're there. That's more of what they look at, how you compete in practice, what you do in practice in the game, because honestly, I've been there for a couple of those games, and they're a glorified pickup football game, really. I mean, there's not much to it. They don't learn a lot of the offense, and it's just kind of go out there and play. But yeah, from all indications, he had a really good week, and hopefully he'll have a good pro day. I would assume he'll do it here, and get a chance to maybe be mid to late round pick for somebody in the NFL.
Got a text here from Jay and Van Buren telling us sources say Jermile Ashley is going to be the next defensive line coach. I wonder who Jay's sources are. Probably the same as our sources, which was Football Scoop.
Yep.
And then it's Football Scoop's sources. So we're getting resourced here 4 different ways.
Gotta love it sometimes. So yeah, if you're just tuning in, Jermile Ashley, Tulsa defensive line coach, is reportedly heading to Arkansas via Football Scoop. So.
Well, and there's another aspect to the story written on Football Scoop SmackDown. It's that they expect that there will be an announcement made by Sam Pittman this week along with other changes.
Yeah, which we've been waiting on because we've known about the tight end coach unofficially and the linebacker coach unofficially. So you're looking at 3 changes that have not yet been announced, and when will that come? Hopefully soon, and then that would be when we talk to Sam Pittman, hopefully. Again, it's been it's just been a weird time because typically you would have a season wrap-up press conference with the coach, and we would have gotten that had they played the bowl game, we think, but there hasn't been one of those. And again, we haven't talked to Sam Pittman since the Monday before they were supposed to go play in the Texas Bowl, so it's been a while since we've heard from him, and you hope to get caught up on everything and figure out where they are as a team, how they're going through workouts.
Gosh, it was almost, wasn't it about a year ago that they did that whole, get to know the coaching staff set up for the media?
Well, yeah, it's been a little bit. It was probably would have been February, March, maybe before they started what would have started spring. So yeah, it's been a little while, and realistically, we've talked to the assistants in the past, and we haven't talked to them very much at all since they've been on campus. So you don't really get to build a relationship with them and kind of understand. Again, it would have been nice to talk to Briles and Odom kind of throughout the season about how things are progressing. We haven't talked to them, so there's a lot of unknown with what's going on over there, and that's kind of frustrating to us media type.
Well, let's get into this frustrating loss for Arkansas against Oklahoma State Saturday.
We were having such a good show. Now we're bringing this up.
Well, I mean, it was a good.
It was a good game. Yeah.
Outside of the fact SmackDown that they lost, I mean, it was an entertaining basketball game. But to throw that aside, it's you really feel like it was a lost opportunity because you had the lead late. Could not hold on to it, and lose out on an opportunity for a good road victory that certainly would have help you pull some strings later on when it comes down to selection time. But, you got to get past that and move on because now you're back in SEC play. But, my biggest takeaway from the Oklahoma State game is, my gosh, Cade Cunningham is really good. I hadn't watched any Cowboys games, and to feel that he hadn't played in a week, and they wanted. Boynton was very cautious with him. He did not play very much in the first half, and the second half he just completely took over the game. And while I think that ESPN did an absolutely garbage job broadcasting the game, that was the worst telecast of the season. The guys that were the announcers did make a good point, and it proved to be true, that this is a guy that takes over the game in the final 5-6 minutes, and he did. He did just that.
He didn't look like he felt well most of the game, but the last 5-6 minutes, it was the Cade Cunningham show, and the best player on the floor won the game for Oklahoma State. Arkansas, again, had issues finishing around the rim, as Coach Muss pointed out. That's been a common theme in some of their losses, or at least the 3 of the 5 losses. The other 2 didn't matter because you got blown out in the other 2. But you've got to be able to finish around the rim, and if you're not going to finish, you got to get to the foul line. That's one thing that they did not do at all on Saturday, was get to the foul line.
Yeah.
And that was and they've got to find a way, if they're not going to be able to finish around the rim, to initiate contact that's going to get called. A lot of times they go in and they initiate contact, but it's initiated to where the officials aren't going to call it. They got to find a way to get fouled and get to the line.
And Muss didn't want to talk about the idea that they didn't get enough free throws because, and I think his frustration was more with the team than his own players not being able to get that contact than the officiating. Because he says Oklahoma State's a physical team. I didn't expect them to block 7 shots. It just looked like in SmackDown this has been a running theme all season. It has been a running theme all season here. Why is Arkansas so subpar at finishing around the rim? Is there a fear factor involved in this? Is there the expectation that somebody's going to be there to block your shot, and so you've got to rush it somehow? It is a finesse-oriented team, even with Justin Smith. But, from Vanover all the way down, this is not a team that goes up strong around the rim. And I think that also stands out big on Saturday.
It stands out huge. And part of it could be the mentality of the player, because there's not really that guy, maybe Devo Davis in the future, that's going to just go get you a basket and get it at the rim. Most of these guys are finesse players, and it's just, I don't know how you can transition a player from being a finesse player to trying to create contact. And it's so hard now to try to create contact and get the call from the officials, because how many times have you seen these guys create contact by them leaning in or for whatever reason, and nothing gets called? So you could look at it both ways on the side of the deal. And on the same token of physicality, you got out rebounded by 7, and which on the surface ain't that bad, but Caleb Boone absolutely killed you on the offensive glass for Oklahoma State. So, yes, finishing around the rim, that's the key part also, but you also lost a rebounding battle as well. So I don't know how this team moving forward, Jason, can try to change the mentality or try to change the physicality of this team, because I don't know what can happen, but they're going to have to figure out a way to get more physical and get to the free throw line, because you ain't going to win ball games going to the free throw line 7 times.
Unfortunately, by now, how many games have they played? They've played 18 games. You are what you are now. Now it's about maximizing your strengths. Can this team finish better around the rim? I would expect so, but it's not going to be a team that is physically oriented. But it's got to be like an idea in the mentality here, and I know Muss keeps preaching this. Go up strong. Go up really strong. Like, how often can you say Connor Vanover's gone up strong when he's had the ball, anywhere around the rim? It's not in him.
It's not in him when somebody's around him. He'll go up strong enough if he's open, but if it's not, that's the issue. Justin Smith talked after the game about how they got a couple shots blocked early, and that mentally may have gotten in their heads, and then they continued to get shots blocked and missed those easy baskets, 16 of 37, whatever it was around the rim. You can't do that and win games, especially in a close game like that where you had a chance to win. And you can criticize Connor for taking that shot. He's wide open. He takes it. It's just that's not who I would have had.
Yeah, it wouldn't be the option necessarily that you want to take the last shot, but if he is that open, again, I don't think you can criticize him for taking it.
Absolutely
but on the other
not.
hand, he did not play a very good game. Vanover was iffy at best, and I think Muss would have liked to have Jalen Williams out there, but he's got what was described as a pretty badly bruised knee. Hopefully he recovers quickly, because I think Arkansas needs Jalen Williams tomorrow against Mississippi State. All right, we're switching the conversation over to college football. From Saturday down south, it's Connor O'Gara joining halftime next.
DSC. There are so many razors out there. How do you choose which one's right for you? Well, at Dollar Shave Club, we got you. With a 6-blade cartridge for daily shavers with short hair and a 4-blade cartridge.
This is Pastor Heath from Woodland. I know some of these ads make you glad, but most probably make you mad. The reason is people believe the lie that heals is better than the truth that hurts. Our purpose at Woodland is to risk the hurt by exposing the lies so you can be wise unto salvation. If you'd like to know more, check out our website, woodlandpeople.church. There you can download our app and listen to our podcast. That's woodlandpeople.church.
Tommy Kraft here. When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the Fence Man was my first call. The Fence Man does it all, from large commercial jobs to small residential repairs. Wood privacy fence, vinyl fence, commercial or residential chain link, even custom wrought iron fencing. 479-782-3936. 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit is now available. If it involves fencing, the Fence Man does it. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work.
That's a dandy white perch. Big old slab. C'est bon, sacalé.
One beautiful crappie.
It's a paper mouse.
Some serious crappie.
Nice speck.
We got crappies.
They might go by different names, but all prefer the same thing. Bobby Garland, America's favorite white perch, slab, sockeye, papermouth, crappie, speck, crappie baits.
I call it dinner.
Print. Using your phone's built-in capabilities, Apple AirPrint and Google Cloud Printing just work. To order yours today, give us a call at 783-6600 or visit dixiedigital.com. Dixie Digital Imaging, bringing document innovations to the River Valley.
Need a little extra cash? Go see Rusty at Golden Gym Pond, 310 West Center in Greenwood. Get the money you need with loans on jewelry, guns, tools, and electronics. If you're looking for a gift, they have a large selection of jewelry to choose from, and Rusty can take care of all jewelry repair. Stop by Golden Gym Pond today, 310 West Center in Greenwood, or call 996-2792. Open 9 to 5:30 Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday, and 9 to 3 on Wednesday. Golden Gym Pond.
When you want a beer, you go to a bar. When you want top shelf spirits, wines, handcrafted cocktails, and cigars in an atmosphere befitting a destination, you go to 906 Cocktail and Cigar Lounge. Try our new menu items, including fish and chips, classic club sandwiches, Caesar and Cobb salads, or stick to your favorites. Dine in or carry out. Enjoy our state-of-the-art air filtration system. 906 Cocktail and Cigar Lounge, defining nightlife in downtown Fort Smith. Doors open at 4 Tuesday through Saturday.
Achieve your health and wellness goals in 2021 with a fantasy spa or a complete endless pool fitness system from Burton Pools and Spas. Hi, Tommy Kraft here. There's no better way to start a new year out than with a spa or a great place to get your exercise every day with an endless pool fitness system. And the experts are at Burton Pools and Spas. Hot tubs start at $28.95 and there's 28 different models to choose from. And I love what I read about the endless pool fitness systems. Great way to get your exercise in. Boundless fitness, year-round swimming, and you can get swimming, which is great exercise in your own backyard every day. And when it comes from Burton's, you can count on delivery, complete setup, and total installation from Burton's. Read more online at burtonpools.com or stop in Fort Smith or in Springdale in Northwest Arkansas for all of the details. New spas and endless pool fitness systems from Burton Pools and Spas in Springdale and in Fort Smith, and always online at burtonpools.com. Happy New Year from Burton Pools and Spas, your source for backyard fun.
This is ESPN 95.3.
Hey, Yo, VIP. Let's kick it.
Tate in the half court for Arkansas. Jalen drives the right side, floats it up, gets it to fall, and they fouled him too. It's going to be an and one for Jalen Tate right out of the inbounds. Arkansas's got a chance to tie it.
Need a little bit more halftime in your life? Make sure to download the Eastside Liquor Halftime Podcast. Eastside Liquor in Fort Smith has the best deals in the River Valley on liquor, beer, and wine. Stop by 9390 Rogers Avenue in Fort Smith and make sure to check out their Facebook page for weekly specials. The Eastside Liquor Halftime Podcast is part of the Hit That Line Podcast Network and is available wherever you listen to podcasts, including SoundCloud, Apple Podcasts, and Spotify.
Oh, I was going to get into football initially here with Connor O'Gara, but he has a really interesting list in which he has compared every SEC team to a current country music artist.
Ooh, all
so
right.
I got to wonder here. So he's got Alabama is George Strait, Florida's Miranda Lambert, Georgia is Morgan Wallen, Texas A&M is Luke Combs. And I got to tell you, Connor, like I've heard of most of these people, but I've probably not heard all of their songs. But why is Arkansas Blake Shelton rather than somebody who's actually from here?
Okay, so I didn't want to just do it based on that. That's lazy. Everybody can do that, right? I mean, Georgia, you do Jason Aldean, you do Luke Bryan. I mean, you could do Tennessee with Kenny Chesney, and you could do Morgan Wallen. That's boring. That's easy. Everybody knows where these people are from. Why would I just put someone who's just from a specific state? I realize I'm a big Justin Moore guy myself. That's the easy way to go. But I wanted to make actual comps here. Blake Shelton is the comp for Arkansas because who knows breakups like Blake Shelton in Arkansas? Blake,
wow.
Whoa! Hey, I'm just saying, Blake, soon to be on his third wife since he became a star. Arkansas on its third coach in the playoff era. Blake had to deal with the tabloids with Miranda and Gwen. Arkansas had to deal with the internet with the whole Bobby Petrino scandal. I think that at their best, they were both good in two different eras, right? Like, you got Old Red, God Gave Me You, Sun Beach, Boys Around Here. And then with Arkansas, you had the ground attack with McFadden and Jones. That team with Houston Nutt, so much fun. Then the passing attack with Tyler Wilson, Jarius Wright, Bobby Petrino. That's in 2011. No coaching change, no breakup keeps Arkansas, keeps Blake Shelton down. They just kind of keep coming back. They're still entertaining, and they still find a way to kind of be that team that nobody really hates. Nobody hates Arkansas. Nobody hates Blake Shelton. But they're endearing in their own way. And I made the comparison as well that Blake Shelton, when he was kind of the baby face guy with the mullet, a few decades ago, that was kind of like Arkansas when it was in the Southwest Conference. Times changed, but that's why I went with Blake Shelton for Arkansas.
Wow.
Okay, so I didn't see who you've compared Tennessee to, but I would imagine it should be Carrie Underwood before he cheats, right?
Oh, see, that'd be good too. I wanted to look beyond just like a lyric, but that definitely would play. I had Carrie Underwood from Mississippi State. I could explain that in detail if you want, but I went with Garth Brooks for Tennessee because, guys, let's be honest, they haven't been good in 2 decades. But you can still play the hits.
Easy on Garth Brooks now.
No. Trust me. Look. Friends in Low Places was the final song at my wedding, and it was one of the greatest memories of my entire lifetime. I owe Garth Brooks that. I truly do. But if we're talking about hits in the last 2 decades, Garth ain't it. I mean, that's not his thing. He could still sell out a stadium, and he still has a massive following, just like Tennessee. But you're not talking about what they've done in the last 2 decades as a reason for why they are great at what they do.
I don't feel comfortable comparing Tennessee to Garth Brooks. He makes a good point. Yes, Garth Brooks hadn't had a hit in a while, but Connor, man, that cut a little bit.
Play the hits. Just like at every wedding, you can go and listen to Friends in Low Places, like I said, and pretty much every social gathering you can talk about Peyton Manning being robbed of the Heisman. I mean, these are two of the same.
I just want you to know this is the most I've ever had a conversation about country music.
I'm proud of you.
Any form.
You're doing good.
So you're bringing it out from me here, Connor. Now the next assignment is to do compare SEC baseball programs to famous rap groups later on this month. You think you can pull that off?
No, I absolutely cannot. I will take a hard pass. You would have a much better chance at that than I would.
All right, well, I'll work on that. All right, so a couple of things to get to here. I want to get your thoughts on Eric Gilbert transferring over to Florida. We knew that he wasn't going to stay at LSU, although I wonder if Coach O thought otherwise, because he said a couple of months ago that he expected that Gilbert would return to LSU, but it seems that he cleaned his locker out the moment he said he was opting out and was done with them. So transfers over to Florida. In his mind, I imagine to be the next Kyle Pitts, but Is there another Kyle Trask waiting there to throw for Dan Mullen?
That's the question. That becomes a big question because you can't necessarily replicate success. I know that if you're Dan Mullen, of course, you're going to sell Kyle Pitts. That's the big sell. And if you're also Tim Brewster, the tight ends coach, you're selling not only did Kyle Pitts just do what he did, but you had Jay Sternberger at Texas A&M in 2018. You have two of the last three Mackey Award winners that were coached by your tight ends coach. That's a pretty good track record. And so I think now for Florida, the question becomes, what is Emory Jones? Florida fans have been so excited about this kid for so long. He's going to be entering his fourth year of college. This is a kid who's the same age as Trevor Lawrence, but it doesn't really feel like it because he's been waiting in the wings. Now, if you can't throw the ball at the same rate that Florida did this past season, then obviously we can't expect Kyle Pitts 2.0. But, man, Eric Gilbert is an incredible talent. I mean, just an unbelievable recruit. From all the things that you heard about the kid coming up and some of the stories that you'd read about him at LSU, you're like, oh, this guy is going to make some waves. We kind of assumed that it was just going to be a return to his home state of Georgia after he was apparently homesick at LSU, and that didn't necessarily happen. Florida is able to go out and do something that it hasn't really done, which is not have a five-star commit go to Georgia and instead go to Florida. So, I mean, I'm fascinated to see this. I would assume he's going to be eligible because that's usually the going rate for high-profile players, but we'll see. This rivalry definitely just got a little bit more interesting.
Connor O'Gara joining us here on Halftime. Connor, I want to talk about Tennessee just for a second. Now we've had a short period of time to kind of digest Josh Heupel heading to Tennessee. And just out of your estimation, what should the expectation be for Tennessee heading into the offseason, heading into next season? And do you think Heupel is the answer to try to get the ship turned in the right direction at Tennessee?
This is a great time to reset expectations if you're a Tennessee fan. And I'm almost kind of glad that they didn't have some stunning, splashy hire, which would have been poaching Lane Kiffin from Ole Miss. It would have been going out and getting Hugh Freeze. I kind of like that Tennessee expectations have sort of been humbled a bit from this because I think this is more of a program that has a hopeful ceiling of sustaining the Butch Jones peak. Now, what I mean by that is you're kind of you're in the top 25 on a yearly basis. You're winning 9 games. You're a team that can put up some big numbers offensively. I think that Tennessee should be able to do that. They actually have a really good quarterback room for all the things that they've lost with roster attrition, with guys transferring and, commitments that have dropped and all that. They actually have a pretty solid quarterback room for Josh Heupel to work with in year one. He's going to be able to put up points. I don't have any doubt about that. This is a guy that had 3 consecutive top 8 offenses at UCF. I think that the question becomes, how does he recruit? Is he able to recruit at an elite level? Is he able to make the right hires from a defensive standpoint as well? Not keeping Kevin Steele as your defensive coordinator, a little bit of a head scratcher, but if there's a part of you that thinks that he was part of this coup to fire Gus Malzahn at Auburn, all right, I understand that. But I think that Tennessee fans should be able to reset these expectations now and understand that your goal isn't to win national championships on a yearly basis. It's not the 90s anymore. This is a very different era of college football that we're living with. If you can put up top 20 offenses on a consistent basis and have that team that consistently can win 9 games and you actually look like a more competitive team against your rivals, I think that's a much better bar to shoot for than, we have to be at Bama levels of success. It's not happening, and Josh Heupel's not going to be the guy to get him that level of success.
You present a really good case there, Connor, but good luck convincing Tennessee fans to try to accept lower standards.
It's not easy, man. It's not easy because it's all or nothing. And I find myself being so in the middle with these hires. Like, think of how many people were bashing the Sam Pittman hire last year. And everybody wants to assume that it's either a home run or it's a swing and a miss. And to me, there are so many things that happen after a coach is hired that's going to determine whether or not he has success. And I think Josh Heupel falls into that camp. He's not destined to fail. He's not destined to succeed just because he went to Tennessee. He's another Tennessee head coach. I think that there are a lot of things that are going to determine how well he performs, including how he handles just being a group of 5 coach going to the Power 5 ranks, which, really we kind of don't talk about it very much. But in the SEC, since Urban Meyer, we really have not seen a lot of those group of 5 to SEC jumps turn out very well. So I think that there are a lot of questions that he has to answer. But, Tennessee fans, the second that Josh Heupel wins a game that he's not supposed to, the hype train will be off and running. That's the beauty of college football.
want to get your thoughts real quick on some Arkansas football news. You've seen several different coaching changes happen, and for what you just mentioned with like Sam Pittman, what some people thought it might be a swing and a miss and a home run. But Connor, he's been able to make some changes this offseason that should theoretically help out the offensive side of the football, particularly in the hiring of the tight ends coach. What needs to happen for you to where Arkansas can continue its upward trajectory, hopefully into 2021?
Yeah, I think I brought this point up before, but it's the coaching staff retention. I think that when coordinators aren't getting poached from your staff the second that they get some big time opportunity, and I think that says a lot about your culture. I think it says a lot about what you're able to do, the commitment that you have toward your assistants. I think building that is so important, and Sam Pittman's been able to do that so far. And they're not necessarily getting their staff picked apart left and right. Obviously, there are good things that's usually the byproduct of some good things and some success, like what Alabama's had to deal with this offseason. But I still think that projects really well for Sam Pittman moving forward. And, you're going to have to make these moves. I think if you're making these moves without it necessarily being wholesale changes, you can capitalize on one of them. Like Florida getting Tim Brewster as a tight ends coach a couple of years ago, that's not necessarily a move that we look back on and say, oh, wow, this was how Dan Mullen was really able to change Florida or, take that offense to the next level. But, look what it did for Kyle Pitts, and look what it's going to be able to potentially do for somebody like Garrett Gilbert. So those staff hires, they are important. And while we probably make too much of them at times, I think that they do matter. And I think Sam Pittman's just done a really good job of being able to build up that staff and make Arkansas a much more attractive job than it was a year and a half ago when, the likes of John Chavis would go there and it seemed like kind of a dead-end job.
Last thing before we let you go, Connor, real quick, what you got in the Super Bowl this week? Buccaneers or the Chiefs?
I can't bet against Pat Mahomes. I would take Kansas City by a touchdown, but even that, it just doesn't feel – I don't know, because they've let so many teams hang around this year too. Like they really haven't put their foot on the gas in a game like until they did last, I guess week and a half ago against the Bills. But I think we're about to see a repeat here, and I think the Brady stuff, he gets exposed a little bit more when he sees a much better pass rush and a Chiefs defense that's going to be ready to go.
Connor, appreciate you, man. We'll get your thoughts on actually what does happen in the Super Bowl next week. And I know it's not a thing really anymore, but National Signing Days in 2. Can you imagine that? And we're ending the break here, but National Signing Days in 2 days. No one's talking about recruiting because it ain't really National Signing Day.
Weird times, man. Weird times.
Really
Appreciate it, guys.
All right, that's Connor O'Gara from Saturday Down South. You give him a follow on Twitter at CJ O'Gara, and he joins us every Monday. I wonder a little bit about the idea of the Tampa Bay pass rush, which was so successful against Green Bay, and the O-line for Kansas City is like completely rebuilt. They have both their starting tackles not playing in the Super Bowl, and I don't know if you're going to see the Chiefs necessarily at their best. Anyway, 877-377-6963. We'll come back, wrap the first hour up, so stay around.
The best TV experience in the nation is available locally with personal service from WOW World of Wireless, your neighborhood professional dish authorized retailer. Dish has the Hopper 3, the most advanced DVR, and delivers a premium viewing experience. Tired of running out of DVR space? With the Hopper 3, you can record up to 2,000 hours of your favorite programming and watch your very own favorite channels and DVR recordings anywhere you go on your phone or tablet. Call now, WOW World of Wireless, at 479-478-6616. That's 479-478-6616 for more details. Or stop by our location at 601 Church Street in Barling, next to Frank Rowe Furniture. Or visit us online at www.shopwownow.com. That's shopwownow.com.
Monthly equipment fees and other restrictions apply. Recording hours vary. 2,000 hours based on SD programming. Remote viewing requires internet connection and compatible mobile device.
Start your Saturday mornings with the Sipping Saturday Brunch Menu at Joe's Grill and Cantina. Every Saturday from 10 till 2. Joe's Grill and Cantina is serving a brunch menu with breakfast burritos, breakfast frittatas, and many of your brunch favorites. Get your Saturday morning pick-me-up with mimosas, screwdrivers, and other cocktail favorites. It's the Saturday morning Sipping Brunch Menu at Joe's Grill and Cantina. Every Saturday morning from 10 till 2 at Joe's Grill and Cantina. 3400 South 74th Street across from Harps.
Do you need help with your next project? Metters Lumber True Value is here to help. A family-owned business since 1936, the staff has more than 90 years of experience in construction and the hardware business. If they don't have what you need, they know how to get it, and they are more than happy to accommodate your special order. So whether it's building a new deck, a paint project around the house, or needing a new set of tools, Metters Lumber True Value has everything you need. With locations in Alma, Ozark, and Clarksville, and you can shop online at metterslumber.com. Metters Lumber True Value.
With over 40 years combined experience, the team at the law offices of Craig L. Cook understand the definition of work, real work, working for you. Whether you've been injured in an auto accident, on the job, a victim of nursing home negligence, or need help navigating bankruptcy, Social Security, wills, trusts, estates, or family law issues, Craig Cook will go to work for you. Call us today, 479-783-8000. The law offices of Craig L. Cook, with locations in Arkansas and Oklahoma. We work for working people.
In sports, success is measured in the number of points scored, in games won, and in championships earned. At Shelter Insurance, we measure success in the quality of our products and services, in our community support, in being there when you need us. In fact, 9 out of 10 people surveyed with a claim would recommend Shelter to a friend. Shelter Insurance. We're your shield. We're your shelter.
Ask Tiffany Newman in Mulberry or Warren Robertson in Alma about Shelter's home insurance.
Are you concerned about possible COVID exposure for you or your employees? Fort Smith has a new option for PCR COVID testing that is fast and accurate. Natural State Laboratories out of Little Rock has opened a PCR COVID drive-thru location in Fort Smith at Community Bible Church. PCR testing is the most sensitive, accurate test available, and results are available the next day. No appointment is necessary. Convenient COVID PCR drive-thru testing in Fort Smith is open 8 a.m. to 1 p.m. Monday through Friday at Community Bible Church, located at 9201 Dallas Street.
A chicken wing is just a flavor missile covered in awesomeness. And at Buffalo Wild Wings, we're locked and loaded with 26 sauces and seasonings aimed right at your face. So whether you're gearing up for the sweet tang of honey barbecue, Magma Hot Blazing Carolina Reaper, or new zesty lemon pepper sauce, get ready, because your mouth's in the blast zone. 26 sauces and seasonings at Buffalo Wild Wings.
This is ESPN 95.3.
Hogs got a little lucky there as Barnum screens Dungy away from the screen, and a fade away for Dungy, good. And that's a 5-4 Razorback lead.
Yeah, good decision there by Chelsea Dungy to shoot the pull-up jumper. She would have had Unique Thompson to deal with if she'd tried to get all the way to the rim.
The Morning Rush, Halftime, Ruskin and Zach, the Hog Talk Podcast. Trusting the process, primetime preps, all available on the Hit That Line Podcast Network. Just type Hit That Line wherever you listen to podcasts.
Fragile ego, because I was wrong earlier saying this Mississippi State week for basketball. The men play Mississippi State this week. The women do not. They've got Missouri on the road and then Mississippi State. So, and the problem was, I've got my two schedules up here. They look identical except for the very top where one says NCAA-W, the other says NCAA-M, and I was reading off the wrong one. So it's okay. You realize how often, Jason and SmackDown, how often Bubba Carpenter tries to dent my ego throughout the baseball season, live and on public airwaves. So it's okay if you want to do it on this very show, because I make a lot of mistakes.
How about next Monday you have Bubba on, and we'll do a couple segments with Bubba next Monday.
You think there's am I ready to bring Bubba on the radio show?
We ain't had Bubba on in a while.
Am I ready to deal with him yet?
We need to do it on a Monday when I'm here so we can kind of catch up and get ready for the season. And I don't know if I'm going to be able to be in the booth with you guys, so.
I doubt you will. Yeah, I doubt. Do I really have to have Bubba on the show?
Of course you do.
Want Bubba
He's
on the
told
show.
me he doesn't listen, so I can really say whatever I want about him today. Did you notice on the Twitter photos I put out from Friday's scrimmage from the radio booth? not only does he have about 6 inches of room for where he can put all of his stuff, but I also gave him an odor neutralizer on his side. Oh yeah, we just got to get all of our routines ready to go. But he's not with me for the first weekend of the season in Arlington, so I'll have a chance to get my so to speak baseball sea legs going, and then for the 4-game weekend series against Southeastern Missouri State, then I'll figure out how Bubba and I will deal with each other throughout this baseball season. 877-377-6960.
We do need to we haven't played Careless Whisper on the show in a while, so we got to effort that to our listeners.
It's on my anytime I ask my Alexa to play music, invariably Careless Whisper comes up. It's like my Echo knows me very well. So yeah, it obviously listens to the baseball broadcast. Yeah. Speaking of baseball, Dustin Pedroia announced his retirement today. Now he hasn't played. I know he didn't play last season. He barely played in 2019 because of a knee injury. So it felt like he already was retired, but he announces the retirement today. This is probably, I would say, like an understated or even an underappreciated cornerstone of those 3 Red Sox World Championships. And Rookie of the Year, well, not 3, 2 of them. Rookie of the Year, MVP, little guy, plays a position that you don't usually look as being one of the leaders on a team at second base. But, yeah, the end of his career comes officially today, even though I think we all sort of knew that he wasn't going to be coming back.
9 games the last 3 seasons.
Yeah. Hey, we had a highlight from Chelsea Dungy from yesterday's win over Auburn coming into the broadcast today, and Chelsea was named ESPN Women's Basketball National Player of the Week. This came out earlier this morning, and it isn't just Chelsea that's getting this recognition. Mike Neighbors is ESPN's Women's Basketball National Coach of the Week. So if it was the SEC making these announcements, of course, there would be a co-coach and a co-player. But for the national thing, it's just Chelsea and it's just Neighbors, and that's really cool. Obviously, the win over UConn's the reason why, but the announcement does come the morning after a win over Auburn to go to 13-6, third win in conference play, and now a chance to really get hot because you already beat Missouri, albeit that was a real tight game at Bud Walton earlier in January. Mizzou Arena is always a tough place to play, but that's a winnable road game. Then you get a week off to prepare for a Mississippi State team that's good, but nowhere near where they've been the last 3, 4, 5 years when Vic Schaefer was still coaching.
And again, that game is kind of where when Vic went to Texas, it was kind of like that opened the door for Arkansas to start moving up the ladder. So a week from this Thursday will be that chance to kind of start cementing yourself as a program to maybe jump over where Mississippi State's been in this league. And so that'll be a big one to talk about next week.
Well, and yesterday, 77-67, Chelsea did have her streak of 8 games in a row of 20 points or more come to an end at 16 points. But still, she drew 9 fouls, which was 1 fewer than she did against UConn. So she just continues to draw fouls. And one of the things that stands out, when you look at that box score, and I'd said it about Taylor Thomas, where, she's a player that in the old box score, before they would put plus minus, before you realized like what a player's impact was upon the score outside of how many points they score and how many rebounds they pull down. Chelsea led the team yesterday plus 20. Thomas was plus 17. So that's one area where Dungy has become such a better basketball player in the last 2 years, where I think 2 years ago when she, after the sit year and was a sophomore, she really was a scorer and not too much else. Last year you could see that she tried to work on other aspects of her game. The scoring was down. This year she's a much more complete overall player than I've ever seen.
Yeah, she is. And it's a reputation thing now with her, too, drawing those fouls. It's kind of the way men's basketball might have a reputation for the guys that do drive. They don't get the calls. Chelsea gets almost every call.
That's a good point.
And there's a lot of them that they're very iffy that could definitely go the other way that she gets. But she's got the reputation as a driver and finisher where she's going to get those foul calls against the other team. Arkansas's guards have a reputation for being out of control when they drive, and they don't necessarily get the calls. And that's the difference in where Chelsea is able to help this team and Arkansas's guards may not be able to help the team driving. And that's why Arkansas can be successful on the women's side with the drive game, and Arkansas right now isn't.
Should have the rankings coming out from the AP later on today. They haven't been announced yet. But the other thing that does come soon is the committee's rankings of the seeds that they're looking at for both men's and women's basketball. That should be coming soon. Like within the next week, we should see these top 16 rankings.
I bet Arkansas is a 5-6 seed when they come out. At this, if it was going to come out today, I bet they're a 5, maybe probably a 6, maybe getting close to that 5 seed.
You know, another aspect that we haven't even gotten into with SEC basketball, and it's worth starting to talk about now because you are a month away from the beginning of the women's tournament and 5 weeks away from the men's tournament in Nashville. Like, what is the SEC tournament going to look like? Is there going to be a full complement of teams on the men's side? Already on the women's side, you had Vanderbilt opt out for the rest of the season, so you're down one team. Will there be some teams that don't want to participate in the conference tournament? You know, sooner or later, I mean, this thing has to be figured out because you can't have some shotgun plan of what a tournament's going to look like. I would imagine you at least need a couple of weeks leeway for everything to be planned properly. So it's coming upon us. And while the men's tournament has been mapped out in Indianapolis, we only have rumors about the women's tournament being in San Antonio and where that's going to work. And by the way, speaking of the men's tournament, on the last bracketology I saw, they've got the Razorbacks playing in the first 4, which would be either at Purdue or at Indiana, and then the winner plays the next day in Indianapolis. So have some fun with that. Have some fun with the second hour of halftime after the break. It's 877-377-6963, and 3 Up, 3 Down takes us into hour number 2.
Do you have sleep apnea? Are you tired of dealing with a CPAP every night? The noise, the constant cleaning. Your wife telling you she can't take the noise anymore. Dr. Bo Sparkman at Family Dental Care of Fort Smith can help you with sleep apnea with a custom dental appliance that allows you to get rid of that annoying CPAP. Dr. Sparkman has years of experience and has treated hundreds of patients just like you. Call for your appointment today, 785-1419. That's 785-1419. Get rid of your CPAP with Family Dental Care of Fort Smith.
Hey, Ty Richardson for Cut Above Lawn and Landscaping. Does your yard need to be serviced in the fall and winter months? Of course. A Cut Above is with you every step of the way. Whether it's commercial or residential, a Cut Above can handle all your needs. Tree service, stump grinding, brush hog, full landscaping, leaf removal, post-it pre-emergent, power washing, and any other yard chore you can think of. Call or text today at 479-719-5605. More than just a mowing service, they're a Cut Above. 719-5605.
Tommy Kraft for the Fenceman. If you've always wanted powered automatic gates at your home or business, but you didn't know who to call, let me tell you about the Fenceman. 479-782-3936. The Fenceman does it all. Custom wrought iron installations, automatic gates, even controlled access systems, and lots more. Ask about 18-month, same as cash financing with approved credit. For your custom fence and gate needs, call the Fenceman. 479-782-3936. The Fenceman. He ain't afraid of no work.
They say, trust the process. But if enjoyment isn't part of that process, don't trust the process. Michelob Ultra, superior light beer. Enjoy responsibly. AB Michelob Ultra Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
New Bud Light Seltzer?
Yep.
A hard seltzer with a hint of fruit flavor.
Yep.
Can I try one?
Yep.
That tastes great.
Told you. Bud Light Seltzer. Unquestionably good. Anheuser-Busch Bud Light Seltzer. IRC Beers. Beer in Texas. St. Louis, Missouri.
I've never been scared to stay by myself, but we've been talking, and as much as the kids are at home alone and John's out of town on business, we thought it was time for a security system. Guardtronic came out and walked through our home for a free estimate. He pointed out a couple of ideas I hadn't thought of. The licensed technicians were really knowledgeable and courteous. They explained exactly how to use our system. Now I understand how Guardtronic has been in business for over 60 years. Give Guardtronic a call today, 800-542-7866. That's 800-542-7866.
ESPN Arkansas weather.
Partly to mostly sunny sky today. Our high this afternoon in the mid-40s north, right around the low 50s south. Tonight, partly cloudy and overnight low in the mid to upper 20s. Tuesday, lots of sunshine. Our high in the low 50s, and then back to sunshine again on Wednesday. I'm Sally Russell with your forecast on ESPN Arkansas.
Listen to Halftime with Phil Elson, Maddie T, and SmackDown. Now every weekday from 11 to 1.
It's fast. It's exciting.
KERX Paris Fort Smith. This is Halftime, coming at you from the Busch Light Studios on ESPN 95.3. From the Busch Light Studios.
I love Arkansas. I love everything here. Give me that thing here.
On your favorite Arkansas sports talk station.
Because this is a proud damn state.
Streaming live from
HitThatLine.com.
You can actually feel Razorback Stadium shaking underneath our feet right now.
This is Halftime with Phil Elson, Matty T, and Matt Smackdown Jenkins.
My calculations are correct. When this baby hits 88 miles per hour, you're going to see some serious...
Get your celebration on. The Razorbacks take a bite out of the Baylor Bears.
I have been waiting for this moment for a long time.
Judging by the sound of it, so has everyone else.
Hey, hold on. It's almost halftime.
End of the second hour of halftime. Nobody joining us at 12:30, so we've got plenty of time for your texts, for your calls. 877-377-6963. We'll get into a bit on this Major League Baseball proposal, which might push the baseball season back a month or so. Bit on the coaching matchup in the Super Bowl, which is really a fun coaching matchup for two coaches that, well, one has retired twice, and the other guy used to not be able to win the big game. So I think that's one aspect of what should be a really entertaining Super Bowl on Sunday, which, by the way, we're going to be talking with our friend Danon Hughes tomorrow at 12:30. Danon's been good to give us some of his time throughout the playoffs, former Kansas City wide receiver and the current radio analyst on the Chiefs radio network. So that'll be tomorrow at 12:30, and looking forward to getting into the Super Bowl with him. All right, so we'll open this second hour of this. Used to be the first hour, though it's been a few months. This is the second hour of halftime, and we open it up with 3 up, 3 down.
It's like a calling card or a shout-out or something.
That sucked.
The best of the best of the best of the best of the best.
What does 3 up and 3 down mean to you, Airman?
End of an inning.
Well, that's not the worst part.
What is the worst part?
It's time for 3 up, 3 down.
Maybe I shouldn't be doing this, as a show host and somebody that works with the Razorback Athletic Department, but I'm going to choose a favorite. I'm going to choose a favorite player on the men's basketball team. I am going to do just that, which I'm sure
you
will...
really are in a good mood today.
It will insult every one of the players that I don't pick as my favorite one, because I'm sure they're just dedicated listeners to the show.
So you're picking a favorite baseball player?
Not yet. I didn't say that. I have to actually watch them first and really be able to figure things out, because now after 18 games, I have settled in on my favorite Razorback basketball player. And I think it's too easy to pick Moses Moody. I think it's way too easy to go with the obvious choice, because he is the biggest talent on the team. He, I think, is the most important player on the team, and is gone after this year. So I want to pick somebody that I'm going to follow for here at Arkansas throughout a longer period of time. And you know who I really enjoy watching is Devontae Davis. Devo is my favorite player on this basketball team, because the kid plays with attitude and hustle and toughness, and I think he plays a little bit bigger than his size. He's also not afraid to take it up hard at the rim, to go up against bigger players, which I think is going to lead to some situations where he had 3 of his shots blocked by Oklahoma State on Saturday. But he really does add a lot of energy. And the one thing that I don't even mention any statistics about him, because I think he can do a lot and really fill a box score up, whether it's dishing the ball, whether it's scoring or rebounding for his size as a guard. I think there's just an attitude that he brings when he's on the floor. And Muss points out, and when you watch him, I think you have to agree, there isn't a player on this team that is better getting the loose ball than Devo Davis. And look, getting the loose ball sometimes is about the way the ball bounces and luck, but also luck is the residue of preparation and doing something the right way. And Devo goes after the loose ball the right way, which is to say, I don't care what this is going to do to my body or how many bruises I'm getting. Yeah, he's no Roger Dorn at third base for Major League's Cleveland Indians. He is a hard-nosed player. I think he brings a real attitude that in the future, I don't know if that's going to be this year's team, but in the future, he's the heart and soul of this team, and they will feed off of his energy. I love watching Devo Davis play. That's my first up. First down is for the Major League Baseball owners presenting a season proposal to push spring training back to late March and the start of the season to late April. Now, it's not the proposal that I don't like. It's that they've presented it 2 weeks before spring training is supposed to begin. I mean, it feels like the same movie we saw leading to the irregular pandemic COVID baseball season, which the owners used every ounce of time that they had, and nobody could ever come to an agreement on anything. And I feel like this is almost the same idea here. And I've come to the point where I don't trust the owners at all. In fact, there have been reports that the letter that was sent by the cities that have Cactus League teams inside of them, in Arizona, where half of baseball teams train, that those cities were initially contacted by the Major League owners to say, hey, we want to push back the season. We think you do too. And sort of influence them along the way. I really have been taking the sides of players, the Players Association, for the last few years, and with every decision and every way that the owners go about things publicly, I continue to fall on the side of the players, of the labor. So the ownership is down for me today.
First up for me this morning is going to go to the Royal Rumble last night. WWE Royal Rumble was last night, and then, Phil, nobody got burned alive. There was no jellyfish or whatever, all these weird matches, just good old-fashioned Sunday night Royal Rumble. Do you remember the name Edge, the Rated R Superstar?
No.
You might remember him from the early 2000s or late 2000s. So he won the Royal Rumble last night. It was a good time to just sit back and watch some good professional wrestling. First down for me, I sent you this text message over the weekend. New Eagles head coach Nick Sirianni. I hope I'm pronouncing that last name right. We thought we made fun of Adam Gase for his press conference, and just wait till you hear this lovely Jim coming from a Cowboys fan that is just pumped up for this New Eagles head coach.
Next thing that's very important to me is that we build a smart football team, that we have a smart football team here. And I know we have the people in place to do that. The first part of being smart is knowing what to do. We're going to have systems in place that are easier to learn. All right, complicated to the defense or offense that they're going against, or the special teams group they're going against, but easy for us to learn. Because when we can when we can learn our system and we can get good at our system, then our talent can take over. Less thinking equals talent take over, but we need to have systems in place, and we will have systems in place to do so. Next thing.
Oh, God bless you, my friend. God bless you.
That's really boiling everything down to as simple as it gets, huh?
He wants to be
the more smarter football team.
A more smarter football team. So, Nick Sirianni, you get my first down for me.
I feel for the guy, honestly, because
I don't.
I mean, he must have done well in the interview, right? You don't get an NFL head coaching job without acing the interview. So he must have done well with Jeffrey Lurie. But
he must have sounded smarter.
How often was he? You could hear the nerves in his mind here. And look, I'm not into making fun of people for stutters. I don't know if he's got a stuttering problem or not. But when you are looking down at your notes, you obviously don't really have much of a message to deliver. And then the fact that somebody wrote that for him. Those were not words that came off the top of his head. Somebody wrote those words and was paid to do it. So I was more entertained by Gase's press conference when he was introduced with the Jets, because it looked like that bee was buzzing around him, and it was like, what the heck is the guy looking at? I was more cringing listening to Sirianni. I felt bad for the guy, and now I feel bad for. No, I don't feel bad for Eagles fans. Sorry.
No, that's fair.
Second up, weekend trades. It's just sort of fun when there are big trades in Major League sports. And, the Rams-Lions deal, I think it probably works for both teams, although you have to look into the future whether or not. But, I mean, the Rams get the the really awesome quarterback that they were lacking for their win now. We have basically 2 years, 3-year window to get to the Super Bowl. And the Lions, who really can't get out of their own way so often, they're at the point where now they need to compile draft choices, and it obviously works for them. And they get a guy and a quarterback in Goff that has been to a Super Bowl and has a big arm and now has reason to try to rehabilitate the way that he played with the Rams. And then the Arenado to the Cardinals trade, which, you heard about, it's still not official, but there's been the rumors about this for the last week or so. It's fun to hear about a big Major League Baseball trade. And you know me, I am not a Cardinals fan, but I think Arenado is the best third baseman of the game, and he's the best third baseman that baseball's had for a good while now. He's a future Hall of Famer. And you St. Louis, this is a player that is right down your alley. I mean, this is like when Matt Holliday came over in that trade from the Athletics. And like when McGuire came over from the A's too, and Edmonds from the Angels. This is a great baseball city with good fans. Yes, you heard me right. I did say it.
Wow.
And a player that fits the franchise. So make sure that they go 20-0 against the Pirates, because everybody should. My second down is to Paige Spiranak for being on every single sports website, quote-unquote, sponsored ad that I see, and therefore takes all my attention away from the story that I planned on reading, and really just for all around being incredibly hot. Could I not see you, Paige Spiranak, on every single sports website sponsored ad? I guess it says something about my surfing, right? That's my second down.
Second up for me, Lady SmackDown. We like to have fun with her, and she's the GOAT. I think, to put it quite bluntly, because I got more compliments this weekend. Hung out with a bunch of the family, hadn't seen them in a couple weeks. Got more compliments on the SmackDown beard. That's all the credit to her. We talked about this last Friday. Her new Twitter bio, which she hasn't been on Twitter in ever, I don't think. Her new Twitter bio is absolutely incredible. It even says she's Lady SmackDown.
And again, I feel like we need to start referring to you as Lord SmackDown.
Lord SmackDown.
She's going to go the lady aspect of it, and the two of you need to be knighted by a 3-foot Twix bar.
She's getting me caught up on good movies, and you two will probably judge me for this. We watched the first 2 Pirates of the Caribbean, and I finally watched The Greatest Showman. So the point I'm trying to get across here, she's the GOAT. She's making my life better, and I'm watching more movies because of it. And this last night said she wants to go to a wrestling event with me.
And again, just finding more reasons why this is the perfect match for the two of you.
Can't go wrong with that. Second down for me. I'm going to save my second down because it'll tie in with my third up. So back to you over there.
All right. Third up goes to Felipe Franks for showing out at the Senior Bowl. This is someone who's so easy to root for. You had to have been feeling a little bit of pressure knowing that he's not one of these automatic first, second round quarterbacks, and you're not going to have the combine. And so he practiced well, he measured well, he played well. Felipe showed out for 2 quarters at the Senior Bowl, and I think we all should feel good about that. Now, go get yourself drafted and make a career out of it, and I think you're going to have an entire state rooting for you. Second down is for Highway 1 in California getting washed down at Big Sur. Did you see the photos of this?
Crazy.
Have you ever been in? Have you been on Highway 1, the Pacific Coast Highway in California?
I have driven the Pacific Coast Highway, yes.
That is it. I've been there driving it. I drove it north 21 years ago. And Big Sur is the point where everybody stops. I mean, that is the spot where you stop and go all zen for 10 or 15 minutes, or however long you want to stay there. And I can't imagine anybody's going to be driving anywhere near Big Sur anytime in the near future with this storm that just devastated the West Coast over the last week. The entire highway at one spot was washed out 100%. It's a scary looking photo, and I love Highway 1. I love the PCH. It is really one of the, I think, gems of tourism in the United States, but nobody's going to be seeing Big Sur for a good long time, and that's a down.
Last one's for me, the third up. The SmackDown's truck is fixed. Shout out to all the people that fixed my truck back home in Searcy. They got it fixed, but my third down, I had this Jeep that I was borrowing for about 2 weeks. Everything was running fine. Everything was going good. I let Lady SmackDown drive it back to the friend's house. We didn't even make it 10 minutes, and a rock came off the road and cracked the windshield on a borrowed truck.
And yet you don't sound like an ounce angry about it at all.
Well, I mean, thank God for insurance. We'll put it like that. If it wasn't for insurance, I probably might have a little bit of anger, but then again, that's what you got. That's what you have car insurance for, right?
That's right. All right, I got a fourth up here at SmackDown, and it's heading over to Joe's Grill and Cantina for any one of their specials during the week.
So we had a call come in. Yeah, Joe's Grill and Cantina, you need to get over there because when it's half price apps and taps, that's when you need to get over there for Arkansas Razorback football games, basketball games, you name it. That is Joe's Grill and Cantina. Half price apps and taps is from anytime. During Razorback game days, they have them over there at Joe's Grill and Cantina. And you can also find it over there on Wednesdays. But today, get over there on a Monday, Mexicali and 2 sides of chicken breast with sauteed spinach, poblano cream sauce, and queso fresco cheese, all for $10 today at Joe's Grill and Cantina. You can get their ultimate margaritas for $5 and their swirls for $2. Those are the daily specials over there at Joe's Grill and Cantina, along with all kinds of great options for you and your family. At Joe's Grill and Cantina, you can find them at 3400 South 74th Street in Fort Smith across from Harps. You can give them a call at 479-478-9600. That is Joe's Grill and Cantina.
All right, we've got a caller on hold. We'll get to you after the break. If you want to be a caller or a texter on halftime, 877-377-6963. We'll be right back.
I'm just so impressed with Grant Morgan's career here at the University of Arkansas. Just like Brandon Burlsworth, he was a walk-on, not really highly thought of coming out of high school. He had to earn it, had to build himself up once he got on campus, and that's exactly what Grant Morgan did. He goes from walk-on to All-American. That's what Grant Morgan is. He embodies the true Arkansas Razorback spirit. He plays with a chip on his shoulder. What Arkansan doesn't appreciate that? You see it in his game.
Check out the Hog Talk podcast. Just type Hit That Line wherever you listen to podcasts.
Bryn Higgins Trucking in Mulberry is immediately hiring for weekend and part-time local and over-the-road driving positions. Go to work for a great family-owned business transporting frozen and refrigerated goods since 1997. At Bryn Higgins Trucking, you truly are part of a family that cares about your future and your family. Contact Bryn or Connie today at 479-997-2366. That's 479-997-2366. Or apply online at BrynHigginsTrucking.com for weekend and part-time local and over-the-road driving positions.
Are you concerned about possible COVID exposure for you or your employees? Fort Smith has a new option for PCR COVID testing that is fast and accurate. Natural State Laboratories out of Little Rock has opened a PCR COVID drive-thru location in Fort Smith at Community Bible Church. PCR testing is the most sensitive, accurate test available, and results are available the next day. No appointment is necessary. Convenient COVID PCR drive-thru testing in Fort Smith is open 8 a.m. to 1 p.m. Monday through Friday at Community Bible Church, located at 9201 Dallas Street.
Tommy Kraft here. When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the Fence Man was my first call. The Fence Man does it all, from large commercial jobs to small residential repairs. Wood privacy fence, vinyl fence, commercial or residential chain link, even custom wrought iron fencing. 479-782-3936. 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit is now available. If it involves fencing, the Fence Man does it. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work. 479-782-3936.
When you've escaped the screens and the sun bathes everything in a golden glow, and your friend hands you a cold organic beer that tastes as perfect as nature itself, that's pure gold. Michelob Ultra Pure Gold, the first national USDA certified organic beer. Organic by nature. Enjoy responsibly. 2020 Anheuser-Busch Michelob Ultra Pure Gold, St. Louis, Missouri.
Standard Materials Group has immediate openings for ready-mix drivers in the Northwest Arkansas area. If you have a CDL license without an automatic restriction and want to be home every night, want to work with a company that offers great pay, benefits, and a great team environment with growth opportunities, apply today at jobs.crh.com. Again, that's jobs.crh.com. Standard Materials Group is an equal opportunity employer.
In the mood for a top shelf night, 906 Cocktail and Cigar Lounge has your number. Sit back, relax, and enjoy select wines, top shelf spirits, and handcrafted cocktails in a rich, comfortable, sanitized setting with state-of-the-art air filtration. Indulge in one of their delicious appetizers, sandwiches, salads, or specialty items for carry-out or dine-in. Open Tuesday through Saturday. Stop by 906 Garrison Avenue in Fort Smith. 906 Garrison in Fort Smith. 906 Cocktail and Cigar Lounge, defining nightlife in downtown Fort Smith.
The Frozen Knuckles Challenge is back at Wheeler Power Sports. Claim up to $150 in Wheeler Power Sports cash, along with chances to win other prizes just for riding your bike this winter. The contest runs through March the 6th, so make sure every time you get on your bike, check in at Wheeler Power Sports. For more on the Frozen Knuckles Challenge, go to WheelerPowersports.com. Wheeler Power Sports is located at 901 North 11th Street near downtown Fort Smith. Wheeler Power Sports, keeping the good times rolling.
Man, I just want to ride, man. I just want to ride.
This is ESPN 95.3.
Cunningham with a rebound. His outlet pass stolen by Sills. Desi feeds Smith for the two-hand slam, and Arkansas is right back within 3.
Want to jump in the conversation with the guys? Call or text into halftime at 877-377-6963.
Leading Arkansas Saturday with 18 points and 7 rebounds, although Eric Musselman was a little critical of the defensive rebounding of Smith. 4 offensive boards, 3 defensive boards, and he did say that he would like more defensive rebounds in 37 minutes from his most physical player on the court, and I think that there's definitely some truth in that. 877-377-6963 if you want to react to Arkansas dropping a tough one against Oklahoma State, and it looks like that's what Eddie in Clarksville is here to do. Eddie, good afternoon. What's new in your world today?
Good day, gentlemen. You know, last week or so I've been kind of barking at the men's basketball program. I'm going to bark at them some more, and I'm going to keep barking at them because this is a basketball program rich in tradition, and sooner or later somebody on this basketball team is going to have to step up and take over and be the man. We had no answers in the second half for the dynamic freshman Tate Cutter. Had no answers for him. I'm not sure at the end. I'm not Coach Musk. I know he had a clean look at the basket. I don't know. Sure, I want the ball and my best player. Hey, my spoke is Spody, and you let Vanhover take the shot. So either way, you lost the game. You had a close game at Tennessee. Win, where top-notch win against a top 10 program comes. I don't know. Like I said, somebody's going to have to step up. As you say, close with no cigar. You know, close is only counted horseshoes. And we're going to have to get back. But not, I was watching them get off the men's basketball program. Cannot be happier for the women's basketball program. Hey, Miss Dougie and Ramirez, what can you say about them? Hey, they get out there and men's basketball team, are you listening? They get the job done. Now let's get, I was watching the big trail. Hey, I'm ready for the baseball hog train to get rolling. And when we're turning back maybe the best pitching staff in the country with Wicklander, Nolan, and Cox, and then you look, maybe the best center fielder and college baseball and Franklin, and then you look at the best catcher in baseball, in my opinion, is Miss Casey Opens. And so when you got hitting power, when you got pitching, when you got defense, you're going to go a long way. I can't wait till February 19th to get the baseball train rolling. Thank you for taking my call.
You got it, Eddie, man. He ran the gamut there over just 2 minutes. Men's
he
basketball
really
anger, women's basketball pride, and baseball optimism. I can appreciate that's a nice 2-minute call. Well done.
Hey, thanks for watching too, Eddie.
Yeah,
keep watching.
Jason's appreciative of that. By the way, speaking of Arkansas baseball, Baseball America preseason All-America teams came out, and Christian Franklin, Robert Moore are the 2 second teamers that Arkansas has, according to Baseball America. Moore at second base, Franklin in center field. Franklin's been anywhere from a first-team preseason All-American to a third-teamer. Moore has 2. The one guy that's been missing from a lot of these preseason teams is Casey Opitz,
which he talked about adding a little fuel to the fire a little bit the other day. A lot to prove based off the draft, not getting a lot of early pub preseason, so I think he's going to have a really good year. You hope that Christian Franklin can live up to the expectations for him. I mean, because they're as high as they were for Kerstad and Martin the last couple of years. He's now the guy. Can he live up to those expectations?
I tell you, the skill set that Christian has, and watching him hit the other day, and also at the fall series, he's learned how to pull the ball with power. His power is legit to both fields. His speed's legit. His fielding in center, the arm. I think he's about to have a big-time breakout year.
Shout out to Blaine for getting him his body. I mean, he's a solid-looking kid, and like you said, he can do all those things. You just hope he stays healthy and can continue to do that once it's for real.
All right, one more caller on hold here. AT in Elkins. What's up, AT? How are you?
Hey, what's going on, guys?
Just having a good day, man.
Yeah. Hey, I want to make a couple comments, and y'all tell me if I'm missing. Okay. And Williams went down against OK State, and Vanover got way more minutes than he wanted, right? Now, what am I missing? Where was the – I feel like our coach had just a bad game. Players have bad games. Coaches have bad games. Because the lack of imagination, try somebody. Jack, Henderson, something. What am I missing, guys? And I'd like to hear your thoughts.
I think you may see Ethan Henderson a little bit tomorrow.
I think you'll see him out of more need than want.
Vance Jackson is not the physical guy that his body says he should be, and that's why he doesn't play enough or play more. So they would like to get that physicality out of him to be able to go bang inside, but that's not the type of guy Vance Jackson is.
That's also not the kind of player Ethan Henderson is.
No, but Ethan will get in there and bang a little bit. But I think Ethan's going to have to play probably 10 to 12 minutes at least tomorrow to give, Connor some. Connor's going to play a lot tomorrow because I don't expect Jalen will be back. I could be wrong, but those bone bruises take a little bit. I think he'll be back on Saturday.
Well, we had a couple of games last year, in February, and I think even in March, if I remember. Forget the opponent. I think Ole Miss was one of them where he did play really well, but those moments have been few and far between. And look, I mean, he has almost sat out as many games as he's played and averaging just 5.5 minutes. And I feel like, there is a reason that Muss doesn't play him very much.
But out of necessity, you're going to have to play him probably. I would expect him to play that amount of minutes just because you're going to need him tomorrow. I mean, Mississippi State will go inside on Arkansas, and how will Arkansas react to that with just Connor in there? That's why I think you're going to play Ethan and maybe have to play Vance down low or move Justin to that true 4 spot.
Yep.
All right, another caller coming in here, so we'll take the commercial break. We'll get to our phones next. It's 877-377-6963. Another number to put down for you. It's if you own a business that needs more security or more curb appeal. 479-782-3936 for the Fence Man. Just call them and they'll be there for a quick, no obligations quote. Nobody does custom installations better than the Fence Man. Things like gates and controlled access card readers and much more. They've been doing it for over 40 years. The Fence Man is at 479-782-3936, and the Fence Man is a division of Quantum Property Services. All right, callers lined up. Get to them after the break. Your text as well. Don't go anywhere. It is a beautiful day on Halftime.
RV show pricing is arriving early at Wheels RV in Springdale. Wheels RV wants to invite you to skip the lines and the crowds this year and shop the industry's best brands at Northwest Arkansas's premier RV dealer. And with a lifetime warranty, RV storage, and a mobile service shuttle, owning a new RV has never been easier. RV show pricing beginning now at Wheels RV, 5 miles west of exit 72 off I-49 in Springdale. Seek, explore, discover with Wheels RV.
Are you looking for a great deal on a previously owned vehicle but want to avoid high-pressure sales? If so, you need to visit Edwards Auto Sales in Roland. For over 30 years, Ernie Edwards and his staff have helped folks from Arkansas and Oklahoma River Valley buy a quality vehicle and offer a buy here, pay here program as part of their services. Some restrictions may apply. Come visit Edwards Auto Center newly remodeled facility 3 miles west of the Garrison Bridge, the first car dealer on your right, or log on at edwardsautosalesinc.com.
Are you looking for a new place to call home? Whether you're looking for an apartment, duplex, townhome, or a house, Trinity Multifamily has you covered. They even have options in surrounding states, from Texas to Michigan and Kansas to Tennessee. If you're looking for a new place to call home, make Trinity Multifamily your first call at 479-452-1817. That's 479-452-1817. Or online at trinitymultifamily.com to search rental properties near you.
After I drop the kids off, I have to run across town for a meeting, hit the gym during lunch. Jake has soccer tonight, and Emily has gymnastics? Oh, did I turn on the crock pot this morning?
With a never-ending to-do list, it's easy to forget something important, like setting up a life insurance plan with Shelter Insurance. Your local Shelter agent can show you how to create a safety net for your family. Shelter Life Insurance Company, Columbia, Missouri.
Ask Ted McAvoy in Van Buren or Jeff Clark in Fort Smith about Shelter's home insurance.
Hi folks, Larry Rath here for Rath Auto Resources, and I want to help you get a great deal on a great car. So I'm making it easy with prices up to $3,113 below retail on the best selection of Rath road-ready vehicles we've had in months. These are late-model, low-mileage cars, trucks, and SUVs that have been hand-picked and inspected in our Meineke Car Care Center. You just can't buy a better pre-owned vehicle. And right now, you can save with prices up to $3,113 below retail. If you're waiting on your tax refund, my TaxMax program can help with that by getting you access to your money now. Worried about your credit? Don't be. My For the People credit approval process can get you approved and driving your nicer, newer car today. If you're not in the market right now, let us take care of the car you have in our Meineke Car Care Center, the home of half-off brakes and buy 3, get 1 free on all tires. Don't wait. Get the nicer, newer car you want today and save up to $3,113 at Arkansas's favorite used car dealer, Rath Auto Resources and the Meineke Car Care Center, 4515 Towson Avenue, Fort Smith, or online at rathauto.com.
Hey, grounds guys.
Hey, what?
I've got one guy that mows my yard, another guy that sprays for weed, another group that does my landscaping, and I'm probably forgetting someone that does something else. Wouldn't it be easier to just call one place for all my yard work?
You betcha. When it comes to yard work, just call the grounds guys. Mowing, maintenance, weed control, landscaping. We do it all. Call 479-303-GUYS. That's 303-GUYS. Or visit groundsguys.com in Northwest Arkansas and the Fort Smith area. The Grounds Guys. Leave the yard work to us.
This is ESPN 95.3.
Hogs try to beat him back, though, on the run out. Moody with a dunk. After the layup by Likely, the Hogs threw over the defense. Moody slammed it home to tie the game at 71 with 4:35 to go.
Need a little bit more halftime in your life? Make sure to download the Eastside Liquor Halftime Podcast. Eastside Liquor in Fort Smith has the best deals in the River Valley on liquor, beer, and wine. Stop by 9390 Rogers Avenue in Fort Smith and make sure to check out their Facebook page for weekly specials. The Eastside Liquor Halftime Podcast is part of the Hit That Line podcast network and is available wherever you listen to podcasts, including SoundCloud, Apple Podcasts, and Spotify.
It's interesting when on Friday we got into that the last weekend, or it might have been the first weekend of February. Last weekend, January, first weekend, February, used to be around the time when the NFL draft was held until 1976. This would have been Pro Bowl week in the 90s. And, of course, now the Super Bowl is always played in February. And I believe the first ever Super Bowl that made it into February was this is the anniversary, guys, of, wait a minute, what just fell out of her top? The Janet Jackson episode, which we all know is something I'm not going to mention here on public airwaves. This happened today in 2004. And do people even remember the teams that were playing in that Super Bowl, or do they just remember that Justin Timberlake and Janet Jackson's relationship has never been the same since then? And just that is so heartbreaking. That was the Patriots winning their second Super Bowl over the Carolina Panthers. Jake Delhomme had a moment in that game, too, and I thought he outplayed Brady, but, of course, the Patriots won it. You also had Super Bowls played February 1st. This is my favorite one, 2009, Steelers-Cardinals, with that incredible catch by Santonio Holmes in the corner of the end zone, and I think that Super Bowl had the greatest play in NFL history. I'm biased, but if you find another game with as much meaning where the first half ended on a 100-yard interception return, which totally changed the game, I'll listen to you.
The David Tyree catch was a pretty big.
Was amazing too. That's right. But it
mine
wasn't
was
the play that they scored on.
Mine was the Rams winning their first Super Bowl and the stop at the goal line.
Yeah,
that was
and the name of the linebacker, Mike Jones. Mike Jones made that stop. Other February 1st Super Bowls. Oh, this is the Malcolm Butler Day. And why the heck did Pete Carroll not run Marshawn Lynch in 2015? And wow, and now we have to wait another 6 days. All right, I won't make you wait any longer to hear Jason in Frankfurt because he's called us up to talk some Razorback basketball. What's up, Jason? How are you?
Hey, I'm doing well. I do want to talk Razorback basketball. I think probably Super Bowl moments, the onside kick that that I guess eventually led to the New Orleans Saints winning that Super Bowl.
Mm-hmm.
I think that would be a controversial play. The player that recovered it, I couldn't recall. I'm not even sure that I can remember the player that kicked it, but that really seemed to set a tempo for them. Anyway, Razorback basketball. Man, love to have that 13 seconds back. Love to see Connor Vanover pass up that three. He was a little nervous and shifted over to Davis on the other wing. I think that would have made a little bit of a difference. There was enough time where Devo Davis could have dribbled or even taken a three, which he doesn't shoot many, but he shoots them okay. I don't remember him going 0 for any time when he shoots them. So that's the one thing that I'd like to have back, and probably Eric Musselman wishes he had that back too. But all in all, they didn't get blown out like they did at LSU or Alabama. So I'm not completely upset. I'm not upset. I'm not as upset as Eddie was. So that's something that I take away from it. It was a hard-fought game. They've got another team that's going to be physical with them again, Mississippi State, Ben Howland. They're going to play physical. They've got to play South Carolina. That's another physical team. So you got to have Justin Smith, those tree trunk legs, doing some work on Tuesday night. So go Hogs. You all take care.
Appreciate the call, Jason. Yeah, I mean, I don't think you'd want 31% from behind the 3-point line for your potential game-winning shot, where there might have been some other options. But again, on the other hand, if you're Connor Vanover and you do shoot the three, and you are that wide open.
Well, and it's a confidence thing, though. Maybe he hit the one in the left corner and then airballed the one in the right corner earlier in the second half, and before all that. So I don't know. I mean, it's hard to pass up a wide open shot, and the hindsight's always 20/20, and you could have done something different. But when you have a wide open shot, the only thing he might have been able to do is step inside, try to get to the foul line, and shoot a 15-footer, and maybe that goes in. I don't know, but yeah, he has not been what they hoped he would be from behind the arc this year. That was one of the big things. Selling points was that he was going to be able to hit those more often, and it hadn't happened as much, and that's kind of changed a little bit the complexion of how people guard him based off the fact that he's not hitting them the way that some might have thought he would have.
You realize, though, Connor has not missed a free throw, 17 out of 17, which, of course, now there are listeners that say, okay, well, so he's going to miss his first one tomorrow.
Got to get there first,
and
right?
You mentioned it. It's a very good point. And Jason mentioned LSU. Has anybody this season had more of a worst final minute in a game than LSU did against Texas Tech?
Final couple minutes. I mean, they
I almost called LSU LSD there for a moment. You must have felt like goodness they were on something for giving up 12 straight points in the last minute.
Yeah, that was a bad loss for them. I mean, it really was. And then on the flip side, at the same time, Missouri's coming back from a double-digit deficit to win that game or force overtime and then win that game in overtime. So it was those two Tigers had different paths. When both led, or LSU's leading by double figures late, Missouri's losing by double figures late, and they flip it, and so. I don't know. It was a weird Saturday, that's for sure.
Well, obviously,
really
I think the best thing, or not the best thing, but one way you could look at it too. I mean, you didn't lose any ground in the conference race. You're still sitting at 5-4 in conference play
with a 3-game winning streak.
With a 3-game win streak in conference play. So if you want to, I mean, yes, y'all will get on to me for being the positive one, but I mean, you still got a lot to play for inside the conference.
Pretty soon, SmackDown, we're coming up on the anniversary of the nickname of you actually accepting the moniker. Don't make us take it to the callers again and switch you from SmackDown to Sunshine officially.
Well, here's why Saturday hurt, because they don't have a road win at a conference.
Right.
And that was their only opportunity to get one, and that would have been a quad 1 win, I think. And so you improve yourself there. So the only opportunities for road wins now are still in conference play, and that would have been a good one to get. But you can overcome that with, doing what you need to do in conference play to improve your seed.
A couple of road wins in the SEC. Beat Auburn.
Well, but I'm talking
road.
about out of conference road win
Okay.
against a team out of conference. That would have helped.
Well, there's
in your
a but to all of your to your 2 conference wins. Auburn without Sharif Cooper and Vanderbilt, which is enough said. Even though Vandy, it's funny just watching Vanderbilt's Twitter account react to them beating South Carolina. And they were selling, hey, we won an SEC game. Make us a cake. Speaking of college basketball here, and I saw this. I got to get to my the right screen here. Apparently, Boston College, this according to David Teal on Twitter, says Boston College coach Jim Christian says he's going to have only 4 scholarship players available for their game against Florida State tomorrow because of COVID protocols. So instead of not playing the game, he's going to fill out the roster with the scout team. Can you imagine doing that? It's like, hey, Mom,
Well,
I'm a scout team player for the Boston College Eagles, and then the next week you're playing against a ranked team.
Yeah, that's just taking the beating that you were going to take originally and just going and playing the game instead of postponing a game that'll never get played.
Meanwhile, JT and I are just in a back and forth here about how entertaining Super Bowl 30 was. Which was a good game, JT. Don't get me wrong. It was a really good game. It also had a fun onside kick pulled by the Steelers and Bill Cowher. But you can't convince me that Neil O'Donnell took some under-the-table money to throw that game to Larry Brown. Ha-ha, yeah. All right, we'll wrap things up right after this.
Head to toe, it's gotta be Gelco for hard work and the great outdoors.
With quality and price and comfort you like, and savings that you're looking for.
We've got the shoes and boots, steel toes too, outerwear and a whole lot more.
Head to toe, it's gotta be Gelco
for hard work and the great outdoors.
Jim's Razorback Pizza. Fresh means fresh, as in no preservatives. That's right. If it's fresh, it doesn't need to be preserved. Try Jim's 100% premium Wisconsin cheese. Fresh whole milk mozzarella, wood smoked provolone, old world style Romano and Parmesan. The freshest all-you-can-eat salad bar in town. No preservatives and fresh every time.
Fresh, fast. Jim's Razorback Pizza.
At the corner of Greenwood and Gary in Fort Smith.
2021 is finally here, and it's time to do business in a new way. Finding the right business solutions has never been easier when you partner with Pinnacle Telecom. Say goodbye to lagging internet and outdated phone systems and start new with the tools you need to make your business work for you. Pinpoint your business solutions today and enjoy 30 days free on any new service that you choose. The right business solutions just for you. That's Pinnacle Telecom. Tomorrow's technology today.
New construction and business remodeling is great, but it leaves a big mess, and job site cleanup is the final touch for any commercial construction or renovation project. When you need to put the finishing touch on your project, call your local Service Master Clean. From post-construction cleanup to everyday janitorial services, no job is too big or small. Call your local Service Master Clean, 479-646-4087. That's 646-4087, or online at servicemasterpc.com.
I've never been scared to stay by myself, but we've been talking, and as much as the kids are at home alone and John's out of town on business, we thought it was time for a security system. Guardtronic came out and walked through our home for a free estimate. He pointed out a couple of ideas I hadn't thought of. The licensed technicians were really knowledgeable and courteous. They explained exactly how to use our system. Now I understand how Guardtronic has been in business for over 60 years. Give Guardtronic a call today, 800-542-7866. That's 800-542-7866.
Hey, Ty Richardson for Cut Above Lawn and Landscaping. Does your yard need to be serviced in the fall and winter months? Of course. A Cut Above is with you every step of the way. Whether it's commercial or residential, a Cut Above can handle all your needs. Tree service, stump grinding, brush hog, full landscaping, leaf removal, post and pre-emergent, power washing, and any other yard chore you can think of.
Call or text today at 479-719-5605. More than just a mowing service, they're a Cut Above.
719-5605.
Progressive presents The Sounds of the Old World.
The year is 2019, and someone is waiting for a table at a restaurant.
Thompson, party of 4. Thompson, party of 4. Thompson, party... Oh, there you are.
This has been The Sounds of the Old World. Brought to you by Progressive, where drivers can still switch and save like it's 2019.
Quote today at Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates.
Have your travel plans changed? Looking for a place that's close to home and keep your family safe? Gaston's White River Resort is located on the beautiful White River. They offer private accommodations in their lodges and cabins. Most cabins have a fully equipped kitchen, or let their restaurant staff deliver to your cabin. Call 870-431-5202 and change your plans to Gaston's White River Resort. Gaston's White River Resort, a first-class time, every time.
This is ESPN 95.3.
Three minutes to play. A 10-point lead as Daniels feeds Mason from the left elbow. Pull-up jumper circles around and goes down the hole.
That's Jalen Mason's favorite shot, that little 15-foot pull-up jumper.
The Morning Rush, Halftime, Ruskin and Zach, the Hog Talk Podcast. Trusting the process, primetime preps, all available on the Hit That Line Podcast Network. Just type Hit That Line wherever you listen to podcasts.
Good for the women's team to have Jalen Mason back yesterday. She, of course, was unavailable for the UConn game because of contact tracing. 8 points, 5 rebounds, 2 steals, 4 assists in 21 minutes. That's big-time stuff from Jay. And, again, it was great to see her back, and Amber Shirey, Pauline Love, and the rest of the group that either had a false positive or got contact traced out. It was false positives, by the way.
Which is disappointing.
Yes.
But it's part of it. It's disappointing to know that there were false positives, and that's the reason they weren't able to be there.
Well, they've got to figure. But if Dave Van Horn is listening right now, and they've got a scrimmage in less than 2 hours, if you find a situation just like the Boston College men's basketball team, I think I might have like a year of college eligibility left. If you're really down to like your last hope, and which means you have no hope, then signal to the radio booth. I'll come out. I'll try to keep my right arm as loose and healthy as I possibly can.
I'm surprised they didn't change the rule just in general with baseball to where your entire roster is not eligible. I mean, should be eligible to play instead of – I know they expanded the roster as far as the active roster, but with the way things are now and the fact you could – I mean, what happens if you lose 10 guys in a week?
Yeah.
And that cuts into, I mean, like at what point do you not, like I just think everybody should be eligible to play, and they're redshirting until they're not redshirting, or they're sitting out till they're not sitting out. If you have to play them for 2 weeks,
What the heck is going on back there? It sounds like you got.
Are
you drilling? You drilling for oil?
That was not supposed to happen.
That was the opposite of a Kobe Bryant shot.
That was opposite of Kobe. No, we're good.
Building the house back there with all those bricks.
You tried the fadeaway shot of like a stapler, and you probably fired it against the wall.
I was trying to go off the glass over here. We got a marker board over here, and I tried to go off the glass and clanked it off the side, and then
it was an empty Lysol can.
I missed Maddie. I missed him for this past 45 minutes when we were fixing stuff behind the scenes.
We got our technical stuff figured out, hopefully, so we should be able to carry the Super Bowl this Sunday as planned.
Oh,
okay,
so
good. We are carrying the Super Bowl with this is the
breaking
Westwood
news,
One
everybody.
broadcast with Kevin Harlan, and I love listening to Harlan do any kind of play-by-play because I think he's the best radio football guy out there. But when it comes to the Super Bowl, that's now the sound I want to hear. I don't even know what television network is airing it this season.
CBS.
It's CBS, so it's Nance and Romo. That'll be good too.
NBC was supposed to have it. We gave it up in order to have the Super Bowl and then the Winter Olympics in back-to-back. So like we get the Super Bowl and then the Winter Olympics next year. If there are Winter Olympics, just like, there's supposed to be Summer Olympics on NBC this year.
Supposed to. Who knows? What's more interesting in this Super Bowl matchup? Jenkins, is it the quarterback matchup, which gets all the headlines, the greatest of all time versus the best currently, and a chance for Mahomes to really, I mean, even 4 years into his career, like cement a legacy before he's even, you know, I mean, he's playing great now, but you could imagine him getting any better while he's already won a couple of Super Bowls and an MVP. That's getting so much of the talk, but I love the coaching matchup, too, between Arians and Andy Reid.
For me, and now I know a lot of people don't care for Stephen A. Smith. I personally like him just because I like his outlandish takes from time to time. But he brought up an interesting one. I think it was like middle of last week or something. And you bring up quarterback play because, it's going to be incredible to see Brady versus Mahomes. But he put an argument out there, excuse me, that if Mahomes loses to Brady, let's just say the Bucs win, and then Brady for some reason decides to retire. Is that too much of a hill for Mahomes to climb? Because he says the narrative is Mahomes never beat Tom Brady.
No,
kind of. I don't know. I just thought it was an interesting point of view from that from that perspective of it. So, but no, I think for me it's the quarterback play. I mean, you have the GOAT versus the young GOAT, the baby GOAT, for whatever you want to call it. Marketing standpoint, I mean, this is what you want out of a Super Bowl. It's going to be two of the best offenses in the NFL. Obviously, we know what the Chiefs can do, and the Buccaneers are really starting to turn this thing around. So it's going to be, for me, it's quarterback play. It's the two totally faces different. Of the NFL.
So these guys met earlier this year, week 12 of the season, and the Chiefs won 27-24 in Tampa. So they're basically going back up again in the same spot they played before.
Right.
Mahomes threw for 462, 3 touchdowns. Brady threw for 345, 3 touchdowns and 2 interceptions.
I think back then the Chiefs had their entire offensive line.
Yeah,
rolling.
losing Eric Fisher is going to hurt. So, can Tampa can they get pressure on Mahomes and force him to do some things that he?
I don't think there's any question they can get pressure on Mahomes, and this is where the difference in the two quarterbacks really plays itself out. Brady's never getting away from pressure. Yeah. He just knows how to maneuver in the pocket and has a quick release. Mahomes gets away from pressure, so the issue with this toe injury could really prove to be important, and I think the toe injury was bigger than the concussion, which really wasn't even a head injury for him. He's got 2 weeks for it to heal, but those big toes, man, that takes a while to heal fully. And I think that the Bucs will get fairly consistent pressure on him. I know, blitz Patrick Mahomes at your own risk, right? Yeah. But they're still going to go. They're going to go after him, and they should.
I mean, it's going to be interesting because neither team ran the ball very well at all. I mean, Ronald Jones had 9 carries, 66 yards. Fournette, at the time, 3 carries, 10 yards. Clyde Edwards-Helaire had 11 carries for 37 yards. Does the running game become a factor? Because it wasn't a factor the first time, or is it just throw the ball all over the yard like they did in Week 12, and you're just going to have some kind of weird game where it's going to be whoever pick off a pass and do something with it.
I know it's so much of this is the quarterbacks going up against each other, but there's something about the fact that Kansas City's offensive line is decimated.
I was fixing to bring that up.
Well,
the injury aspect of it all.
That's such. I mean, it's not just one or two positions here. It's almost the entire line, and. I mean, how many times the Bucs get to Aaron Rodgers? 5, 6.
They sacked Mahomes twice in that game, and Kansas City had 1 sack in Week 12. I know they're talking about the line, so can they get pressure and force him to do some things that he normally wouldn't do, or some of those throws that he normally makes, pick them off? It's going to be a weird game, I think. Something weird is going to happen, and it's going to turn the game from one direction to the next, or to the other side, I think.
Hey, don't forget, because largemouth bass are spawning at ponds and lakes right about now or really soon all across Arkansas and Oklahoma, you're going to want to catch them with the famous Yum Dinger. And they make them by truckloads in Fort Smith in 3-inch, 4-inch, 5-inch, and 6-inch sizes. And they're in tackle boxes of bass anglers all over the United States and all over the world. That's the famous Yum Dinger, made by Pradco Fishing Lures in Fort Smith, available at Walmart, Bass Pro Shops, Academy, LureNet.com, and tackle stores all over the place. That is the Yum Dinger. All right, and then there's the coaching matchup, which I love here.
Yeah.
Because Arians, I mean, look at the quarterbacks Bruce Arians has worked with throughout his career. He was the offensive coordinator with the Steelers, with Ben Roethlisberger and a couple at least one Super Bowl championship and went to the Super Bowl against the Packers once. Now working with Brady, and I know there's another one in there that I'm forgetting about. I mean, this guy, and this guy's also retired twice. Like, I know when the Steelers got rid of him as the offensive coordinator, they said he retired. 7 days later, he accepts to work for Chuck Pagano as his offensive coordinator and worked with Peyton Manning. That was the other. How can you forget about Peyton Manning? And then there's Andy Reid, who for his entire tenure at Philadelphia was always associated with being just like Donovan McNabb, really good, but not good enough to make it to a Super Bowl. And then, you know, when he and Mahomes lose that first AFC Championship game to Brady and the Pats, it's like, well, the script remains the same, just with a different quarterback. And now, Super Bowl championship later, they look like they might be the favorite, and he's a genius, which it's not like he wasn't a genius previously. So this is a fun matchup, too. It really is. Two coaches that are fun to listen to. Reid, just because he always sounds and looks disgruntled. And who can forget his first game this year with the mask getting completely fogged up. Arians is a quote machine, and I love how he has focused on a diverse coaching staff in so many ways. I think they've got I forget the name of the lady that's one of the assistant coaches. They have a woman who's a full-time assistant coach. Both have African American men as coordinators on the defensive side. Both coordinators, in fact, for the Bucs, and Bieniemy, of course, with the Chiefs. Leftwich is the offensive coordinator for Tampa. Bowles is the DC. He's already been a head coach. All three of these guys probably should be head coaches in the future, if not right now. So, I think the coaching aspect of this Super Bowl is one that I was going to say isn't getting talked about enough. I think it is getting talked about. These are two coaches that you can root for easily.
Jason, if we don't talk to you before Friday, what's your prediction?
Kansas City 34-27.
Now, you don't have to make a pick yet.
No, we're not making our picks yet.
We can do that on Friday. And
34-27. I like that, though.
Maybe we can even make it interesting for us.
Oh.
I don't quite know how to do it, but we can figure out something.
It's not going to involve The Exorcist. I'm just going to
I think Kansas City's defense will make a play in the fourth quarter to turn away Tom Brady.
I like it.
All right. Well, he usually knows what he's talking about, so we'll see on Monday next week.
The great Jason Carroll.
That's right. All right, that's it for halftime today. Thanks for staying with us. For Matty T, for SmackDown, and for Jason Carroll, and for the cat, this is Phil. Get up, get out, and get better.